A cloud and a shower or two this morning, giving way to some sunshine later today. It'll become breezy and less humid with time, with a high of 82 to 86. And mainly clear Thursday night, lows in the upper 50s in a few inland spots, mid-60s at the coast. Sunshine and pleasant Friday with low humidity, high 86 to 90. Saturday, mostly sunny and very warm, high 89 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 21 minutes after 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We all know people who did really well in school, and they're not doing that well in their lives, financially speaking. I know a guy who was not really that great of a student, and he's doing unbelievably well, financially speaking. So, the world throws us a lot of different curves, but sometimes somebody will rise to the challenge of giving us some information so that the rest of us might be able to benefit from it. And I think we've met a young man by way of an announcement, and he's on the phone. Terrence Dillon is a junior at Jackson State University, majoring in finance, and the leader of the winning 2017 Up to Us team from Jackson State University that highlights millennials' stake in America's fiscal future. And he's going to talk to us about the Up to Us movement, providing education for America's long-term fiscal challenges and urging lawmakers to address the national debt. Oh, my gosh. I hope you become a lawmaker, Terrence, already, before even saying hi. Good morning, Terrence.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. I'm calling from Washington, D.C. I'm currently here. Just got done with the physical summit, Peter G. Peterson, and I'm finishing up my last day here in D.C.
Oh, wow. Did you walk into the Capitol building and say, my future office?
Yes, it was beautiful. It's so much to see in Washington, D.C. I've been so amazed, took so many photos.
So you won $10,000 in the competition. What did you do to win?
Well, when it came to our team at Jackson State University, we tried to do a lot of creative things that we felt would get millennials really interested in coming to the table before having a conversation. So we had big flashy boards to kind of have people like, I wonder what this is. We actually held a Solve the Debt game night on our campus, where we took games like Wheel of Fortune, and we twisted around, called it Wheel of Debt, Debt or No Debt, which is a play on Deal or No Deal, and just did things in a fun way,
Very
but
clever.
Also kept to the theme of the national debt and showing them how it affects them.
And did you find it surprising when you spoke to your peers about the national debt as to how much they knew or didn't know about it?
Honestly, I wasn't that surprised, because when I first got into the competition, I did not know much about the national debt myself. So when I talk to millennials, most of them do not know anything when it comes to the national debt. So, and I was familiar with that, and really the tough part is making it relatable, making them understand that, hey, this does affect us, because it's a conversation we don't have. So once you really point that out, like, hey, this is something that we're going to have to deal with in the future, passing this on not just to us but our offspring, it really makes them say, okay, now I understand that this really affects me. Well, what can I do to be a part of it?
So the national debt is probably a headline topic today, because wasn't it just 2 days ago, Tuesday, that the president submitted his budget proposal for Congress to look at? And we all have our pet projects we hope don't get cut. Talk to us a little bit about what you think we should do and shouldn't do, and have you had a sneak peek at what the proposals are, and what do you think about them?
I haven't had a look at it yet. It's funny, we were actually at the Congressional Budget Office yesterday talking with officials there, which was really amazing. But what I do want to say is, I think when it comes to whatever the budget is that's decided, that there should be a focus on trying to maintain as much as we can and not overspend. Let's try to focus on what do we have already that can keep us efficient without having to, rack up more debt than what we really need to. What can help us maintain and actually get to the point where we can reduce.
Is there a way to test things? For example, Amtrak is threatened to be non-existent with the new budget.
Yeah, that's one of Larry's favorite things. He wants to keep that.
Yeah, I don't want to lose Amtrak.
Oh no, I love Amtrak.
Oh, good. Well, go get a job in Congress and tell them that. I mean, so how do we test something to see if it's worth keeping or not?
Well, it's more about speaking with the people. I would say get the people more involved, especially when you're thinking about the national debt. It affects everybody, regardless of what your political affiliation is, which is why I love Up to Us. It's nonpartisan.
Yeah.
But really just talking to the people. We know, well, when we talk about Amtrak, everybody needs train services to get to, where they want to go. So I think, you would say, hey, a lot of people really need this. So, just things like that, understanding where the people come from should, be in mind when you decide what you want to do.
Just somebody who thinks like you should be in office. But at the same time, if I was your father, for example, I would say, I don't know, life in politics is, it's so iffy. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, what do you want to do after college?
Well, as of right now, I'm planning to do a program called the JET program, where you will be an assistant language teacher in Japan for up to 5 years. I really want to. I got to go to Japan in March, which was a beautiful experience via Jackson State University, and I made so many friends. I've always been into Japanese culture, so hopefully I can do that for a year or two. But after that, I was, thinking about things like politics, and coming to D.C. really helped me figure out is this really where I want to go? Because, like you said, it's complicated, and there are a lot of iffy things. But one theme that I have seen is that when both sides come together to find that solution, you get the most success. And I feel like that's what I would encourage. Let's focus on coming together on both sides.
And that's very, very important, because you have to work as a team. So when you had the other members of your team for the competition, were you tossing other ideas around before you all agreed on this approach?
We talked things out, kind of like how we wanted to approach, especially with the campaign. How do we want to approach people about it? Because when you talk about, politics, most times they automatically assume you're on one side or the other. We want to make sure we focus like, hey, we're nonpartisan, and point out the national debt affects everybody. One important fact that I was learning is that in just over a decade, the interest on the debt is possibly going to become the third largest category of the federal budget, and that's just paying interest. And I'm like, wow, this is something we have to look at, and that and things like this is what really brings people together when it's affecting everybody on the same playing field.
Wow. Can you in your studies, can you look at each president? I'm not trying to make it political, but do some presidents in history, at least in recent history, I guess going back to, I don't know, 1990, whatever, could you see that some presidents had a handle on the budget and others messed it up? I guess the best way I can answer
my history isn't the most sharp, but one thing I can say, well, actually, what my experience in D.C. is learning that there was a point in time where actually, the balance, there was a 4-year period, I believe in 1997 to 2001, where the balance was actually, doing well, the budget, and there was a surplus and all of that. So I could say we could take what has worked in the past and kind of apply it to where we are now, because things may not be the greatest, but we can take what we've succeeded at before and, apply it now and just really get us in the direction we really need to go.
That really makes sense. Well, you're an impressive young man, Terrence. Thank you for taking time to be with us today. Do you want to give us a website before we say goodbye?
Oh, yes. So if you want to stay up to date with Up to Us, you can go to their website, which is uptous.org, to learn more. There's actually a pledge on their website that you can take, which will send something to the your elected officials in your area. And, of course, if there's any students out there who want to be a part of the Up to Us movement, they can host events on their community college. And the competition is an annual one. If you go to itsuptous.org on their social media, It's Up to Us, you can find out more about that.
Okay, excellent. Terrence Dillon, thank you so much for what you're doing, and good luck with everything in your future.
Thank you so much.
All right, we'll be right back.
From both Gianforte and Jacobs when this happened. There was a table in between us, but I did see the whole thing when Gianforte grabbed him by the neck, both hands, slid him to the side, body slammed him, and then got on top of him and started punching and then yelling at him.
Fox's Alicia Acuna. More arrests in Britain, which remains on high alert following Monday's suicide bombing in Manchester that killed 22.
The arrests have taken place in Manchester.